But we need to have answers to these. I mean, that was an easy question to answer 5 years ago. I would just tell them, hey, listen, the law says it's illegal, and Romans 9 says we have to obey our authorities. So bingo, you're done. But now the law says it's legal. So what do I do now? Well, I have to find a better answer. And the better answer is the one I just gave you. We need to be able to answer these questions. The third question was, where does it say in the Bible that having sex before marriage is wrong? Well, that's an age-old question. That's been asked since the beginning of time because young people don't want to wait. But hey, they're asking the questions. They have the doubts. We need to deal with them. So what needs to be done when you see these questions? What needs to be done? How do we deal with this? Let me give you some suggestions to wrap up this talk. First of all, we need training. We need exposure to the viruses in small quantities, followed by sound biblical responses. Let me give you that as a strategy. When I taught for many years high school seniors, I used a strategy that I called inoculation. What I would do is every week I would give my young people, my students, a challenge. I would give them a quote from Dawkins, from Dennett, from Harris, from one of these skeptics or atheists, and tell them, okay, how would you respond? I would give it to them as homework. They would have to struggle with it, come back the next day. They would really struggle at the beginning because they didn't have no idea how to respond. After they gave me their feedback, I collected their homework, then I would do a PowerPoint and totally debunk and destroy the attack and show them why it's irrational, incoherent, inconsistent. By the time I was done, man, that's a dumb idea. I can't believe that somebody would write that in a book. Exactly. But what was my objective? My objective was to expose them to the virus in a very small dosage in a controlled environment where I can allow them to think through it and then give them the injection of truth. Because from that point forward, that will never be a problem for that young person. They'll walk into a college classroom and the professor will throw that attack, because Richard Dawkins says this and this and that. And their attitude is going to be, yeah, been there, done that, next. Like, I got this. That's not a problem. I worked that one out already. It's a process of inoculation, exposing them to these attacks and showing them how to respond. That's a strategy. I also recommend teaching apologetics in churches. I recommend structured role-playing. Playing the role of an atheist. How would you respond to me? Okay, I'm going to act like an atheist and let's see if you can answer me. Or role-playing the Jehovah's Witness or role-playing anything, a Mormon. Like, how would you respond to this? How do you respond to a Hindu or a Muslim? Whatever you are encountering in your society, in your particular neck of the woods, you need to deal with it and show them how to deal with it. We need to have pulpit series on apologetics. Now, apologetics is not the only thing we need to preach about, obviously. We need to preach the whole counsel of God's word. But we cannot omit apologetics from our preaching. So a series every once in a while on apologetics is very powerful. I also recommend Sunday school units on apologetics, truth conferences, youth conferences, men's conference, women's conference, church conferences, dealing with these issues to educate the students, the parents, the grandparents. Everybody needs to know how to answer these questions because that's how we combat the doubt. We give them the truth. The only thing we cannot do is ignore the virus because if we ignore the virus, it'll destroy the lives of many precious young people. It may be your child or your grandchild, and we don't want to see that. God forbid that happen on our watch. I'm Dr. Juan Valdez with Reasons for Hope.